Okay, so imagine a football club backed by literally infinite wealth, a club that just shattered global records overnight by signing Cristiano Ronaldo, easily one of the most famous and marketable athletes on the entire planet. Naturally, you'd think their bank accounts are absolutely bulletproof, right? Well, recent headlines have actually painted a much darker reality, pointing towards severe financial difficulties, mounting debts, and some serious institutional chaos. Today, we're going to separate the verified facts from all that media hysteria to uncover what's really going on over there.
It's honestly the ultimate high-stakes puzzle. How does an organization with virtually unlimited backing find itself navigating reports of financial ruin? I mean, this scenario challenges everything we think we know about sports economics. It really serves as the ultimate stress test for the entire Saudi Pro League's economic viability. Because, as it turns out, having infinite financial backing on paper, that doesn't automatically guarantee smooth financial operations in reality. So, let's peel back the curtain and really dive into Al-Nassr's true economic situation.
Section 1. Before the Ronaldo era, Al-Nassr's history.
So before this unprecedented spending spree that made global news, Al-Nassr actually operated in a completely different financial universe. For decades, they just functioned with traditional club operations. They were a highly successful domestic club, and they relied on the usual stuff: standard ticket sales, local broadcasting, and regional sponsorships. But then, there was this highly calculated decision by the club and its backers to drastically expand their global influence. They didn't just want to be a big deal in the Middle East anymore. They wanted the whole world watching. And that massive ambition, it led directly into an explosive 2022 and 2023 financial pivot. This wasn't just some gradual budget increase. No, it was an absolute overnight transformation of their entire financial identity. And that really set the stage for all the turbulence that followed.
Section 2. The Saudi Spending Strategy, a Massive Influx.
The sheer unprecedented scale of the economics at play here is just staggering. We aren't just talking about paying 11 guys to play football. The Saudi Pro League executed this massive systemic strategy where the largest chunk of the budget went directly to player salaries. They were literally shattering international norms just to attract peak talent. Then you have another massive piece of the pie going toward unprecedented upfront transfer fees paid to European clubs. And finally, you've got the ballooning day-to-day operating costs that are required to maintain this brand new superstar ecosystem. You see, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just join a club in a vacuum. He was the cornerstone of a league-wide financial shockwave designed to basically buy global attention instantaneously.
Section 3. The True Cost of Ambition, Financial Impact. Okay, so in a standard football business model, revenues from broadcasting, merchandise, and tickets are all carefully balanced to pretty much match player wages. It's a delicate ecosystem. But what happens when you inject sudden, massive international transfer fees right alongside world record superstar salaries? Well, that scale tips violently. When you introduce those kinds of abstract, astronomical numbers into the mix, they immediately start putting immense pressure on real-world club viability. Basically, their commercial revenue simply hadn't caught up to their ambition yet. And because of that, Al-Nassr's financial engine started running incredibly hot.
Section 4. Debts and transfer bans. Real consequences.
Now, if you've been reading the headlines lately, you've definitely seen the sensationalized claims of total club bankruptcy. But let's bust that myth right now. The verified reality is actually a mix of severe cash flow bottlenecks, reported debt, and international transfer restrictions. It is super important to remember that financial trouble does not equal official bankruptcy. What actually happened here is that the rapid, immense spending created some pretty serious short-term liquidity issues. Al-Nassr owed money to other global clubs for previous player transfers, and when those specific payments were delayed, largely due to administrative hurdles, football's governing body stepped in and hit them with transfer restrictions. Essentially, they were just temporarily banned from registering new players until those specific debts were settled. So it's really a localized liquidity crisis we're looking at, definitely not a total institutional collapse.
Section 5. Is Ronaldo to blame? Analyzing the impact.
$200 million. I mean, it is an astronomical, gravity-defying number. Whenever any organization takes on a contract of this magnitude, it undeniably alters the entire financial landscape of the club. There's no getting around that. But is it fair to just point at this massive number and declare it the root cause of the crisis? We've got to look at this objectively. While a mega contract like this is obviously a huge catalyst for increased spending across the board, it was also a known, planned, and guaranteed expense that was heavily backed by the league's investors.
The objective fact of the matter is simply this. Al-Nassr has faced reported financial difficulties but has not been officially declared bankrupt. We really have to separate the high-profile player from what are actually deeply systemic administrative issues. Yes, Ronaldo's wages are immense, for sure, but the core financial situation is tied to much broader operating costs and some serious organizational growing pains. Remember those transfer bans we talked about? They were triggered by unpaid fees for other transfers, not Ronaldo's paycheck. The reality is just that the entire operation scaled up so incredibly fast. The club's administrative, legal, and cash flow structures honestly just couldn't keep pace with their own ambition. So it wasn't one player breaking the bank, it was an entire infrastructure struggling to process a financial revolution.
Section 6. Al-Nassr's financial future. What is next?
So, what does a realistic recovery actually look like for them? Well, first off, they have to meticulously manage these reported debts and ensure perfect cash flow liquidity so they can pay their global partners on time. No more administrative delays. Second, they need to successfully navigate and lift any remaining transfer restrictions so they can actually get back to legally building their squad. Third, and honestly this might be the most complex challenge of the whole shebang, they have to balance these massive players' salaries by aggressively growing their commercial revenue. Basically, they have to prove that this massive influx of global attention can actually be monetized. And finally, they just need to maintain operational stability to ensure that those rumors of official bankruptcy remain exactly that, just rumors. It is an incredibly delicate tightrope walk of high finance.
So, we've stripped away the rumors, and we've seen the facts. We've examined the very real cash flow bottlenecks, the transfer bans, and the incredible, almost dizzying scale of the Saudi spending strategy. It is, without a doubt, one of the most fascinating experiments in the history of sports economics. It's essentially an attempt to fast-track a century of organic football heritage and commercial growth into just a few short seasons. But it leaves us with one critical, lingering question. Can these astronomical, fast-tracked football investments truly succeed in the long term, or will they serve as a dramatic cautionary tale of unchecked ambition? I guess we'll just have to keep watching the balance sheets to find out.